listening, just as a heads up, we published our first episode for season 3 yesterday. So make sure to check that out. It's actually our shortest episode ever too. It's only like 25 minutes. So there's that. All right.
It's like, it was like our first actual live podcast recording too.
Yeah.
Which was so cool.
And we didn't have any fancy equipment or anything. We just passed my phone around. And the audio turned out pretty good. So
yeah, I actually went through and I listened, and it was actually pretty decent. I was like, all right, I'm impressed with this.
All right. Well, anyway, so this is Dr. Megan Miller.
And this is Joe Smith.
And we have Wheel Decide Wednesday happening. So we're going to go ahead and spin the wheel and talk.
Let's see what it's going to choose. Now, I know some of them we talked about before.
Yeah, I think it's been a little while. We could probably do a do better shout out. What do you think? Should we spin it again or do a shout out?
I think we could do a do better shout out.
All right. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first. Let me go ahead and set my timer. And of course, I take the app that's like the typical app for the timer off my phone. Watch. So I had to go into like search feature and do all that fun stuff.
Why'd you take it off your phone?
I took it off from the home screen because like I don't like my home screen like so cluttered. So yeah. All right, so I'm going to just do on my watch. 2 minutes, 30 seconds starts now. All right, so my do better shout out will have to be definitely the people who ran FABA and put on that amazing conference. I absolutely love, Megan, we talked about FABA for so many years, and you talked about how amazing it is. And I finally got to experience a taste of it, and it exceeded my expectations. Like, I love how big it was, how many people were there. And it's not just people from Florida. They did a great job at making sure that it was running smoothly, that it had all the like flair too, to make it like fun and engaging. I really enjoyed like after the conference, like at night, how there was a lot of different social events, which was a lot of fun too. Because like that's why I want to go to conferences, is like to meet other BCBAs and other professionals in the field and discuss like ABA or their own life, or just get to know more people and their history. I find that so fascinating and fun to do. So yeah, my do better shout out is just the people who ran that that conference and just made it fun and engaging. I like that it was hybrid too. Like you could watch the conference. So I did that once. I actually watched one of the presenters talking while in my hotel room packing up, which was fun, which was nice because like I couldn't be to all the sessions. So yeah, it was a really well-run conference. So that's my do better shout. And I think my other shout out would be to all the panelists that we presented with, and how awesome it was to work with them, and also just to talk with them and work together to present on compassionate parenting, and also where are the white men in the ABA field for DIE. So that was great.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe. That was a great shout out. we have Jenna Lee on Facebook Live, and she said that the latest podcast episode was a great listen. Thanks for listening, Jenna Lee. And I saw your email. Hopefully I'll get a chance to respond tomorrow. And then my mom is here too. So she said, hi, mom. So, all right, I am going to set my timer. That's interesting. Facebook is talking to me in Spanish. I listed my mom as a top fan, but then it also says fan destacado. I guess that's Spanish for top fan. I don't know. All right, let me get my timer. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. I always feel like there's so many people to give shout outs to. So then I get a little lost. I definitely agree, Joe, with the shout out for FABA in terms of the logistical pieces with the hybrid. It was just, I mean, there was probably all sorts of issues that they were dealing with on the back end, but we didn't see anything. Like, it was so smooth. You never would know. It was the first time hosting an event of that nature. They had over 700 people in live attendance, and then I think like 1,500 people online or something. So to be able to coordinate that and have that set up so well with like very few tech issues was amazing. I want to give a shout out to, like you mentioned as well, the panelists that participated in our 2 different panels. And then also to the people who are sharing additional ideas and creating plans for future conference presentations around things that maybe didn't go so well. So there's still work to be done. And there was definitely some content presented at the conference that for some of us in the field who are working really hard on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and just better practices around like compassionate and humane practices for behavior analysts. We kind of have formed our own movement and bubble, and then you go to, it's been 2 years or more for some of us going to conference in person, and then you get into contact with like, oh, there's still people out there that aren't that haven't started doing these things. Like, what can we do about that, and how do we address it? So I heard a lot of people problem solving and coming up with ideas on how to continue to disseminate better practices and things like that. So it'd be too much. Like, I can't possibly name all the people, but for those of you who are, continuing to create opportunities, whether it's through trainings or consultation, to help people learn more in the field about more humane and culturally sensitive practices, huge shout outs to all of you. And then next week we have our Do Better Couch to Camp finally happening in person in the Poconos. So I'm going to just go ahead and give a preemptive shout out to all of the people that are attending camp. And I'm so excited to see you all in person and have some fun, but also continue the learning that we started in 2020. That's me.
Awesome. And then one more other thing is the people that came to our presentation too, just because they came with an open mind too. I felt.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. And we received some feedback, which was they had some great questions, and I feel like that was awesome. And we'll address them at a later time too. So
yes, I think we got some additional podcast topic ideas and things too. So
definitely.
That'll be good for us. All right. Well, I hate to make this so short tonight, but like I mentioned, Joe and I are both very tired. So, Leslie said her Wi-Fi is unstable, but she enjoyed season 3, episode 1. Listened to it this morning. Well, thank you, Leslie.
Awesome. Thank
we
you.
are happy that you were able to listen to it. I'm just popping in the chat on here and on Facebook. We just had a quick announcement because registration closes soon and we only have like 10 spots left, but we have our next cohort happening for the collective with Leah on relational frame theory. And she's going to be giving opportunities to write programs and get feedback based on learning about relational frame theory. And she'll be incorporating some information from PEAK and AIM and ACT, just more broadly speaking as well. So if those are areas that you've been wanting to develop your skill sets, I highly recommend checking that out. And we don't have any other events going on for the collective this week, but next week we have Reading to Action on Tuesday, weekly meetings with me. And We'll Decide Wednesday, Joe, are canceled next week for the 20th because I'll be visiting Tradewinds up in New York.
Awesome.
UCP with Eric. So I won't be able to
Awesome.
do it. And then Thursday we have a mentorship session with Jamie, who is on our parenting panel, and she's going to be talking about some topics relating to that. And then I think that's it for next week. So hopefully we'll see some of you next week. And I hope you all have a good rest of the week. Thanks for joining us.
Bye, guys.